philosophical, was that Skeeter was more community oriented. He always did things in the neighborhood in these episodes. His communication style, which I want to get back to in a minute, and then his positive attitude and resilience. Now this is a fun one for me. Why do I think his positive attitude and his resilience made him black? Right. See, that right there, the amount of times I said, there used to be people who like, I try not to be an asshole to my friends a lot of times, especially my non-black friends, but it's a lot of times they'll complain about something. And I remember Samuel L. Jackson saying, nigga, that's just another Tuesday for us. And I really like that because I just thought that no matter what Skeeter went through, no matter what, like Doug would treat him bad, BB didn't want to talk to him, Patty was giving him no play, and Roger was throwing him in lockers, and Skeeter never around, man. He took that shit on the chin and kept it pushing, whereas Doug was like, dear Journal, he was just crying every episode, he was crying about something. And Skeeter, he just hit his corner, he dribbled balls, and I just thought that was me because, I was a small dude growing up, so I was bullied a lot growing up. But the one thing nobody ever said was like, man, you'll never let that shit bother you. And I was like, because why would it? Like, this is just life. Like, what else you want me to do? And the more I talked to black people, the more I would have more friends, they would echo that same thing. What else you want me to do? Because there's nothing else I can do. And like, we take that shit and we move on. And I always thought Skeeter kind of resonated with that. What about his communication style? Do y'all think that's a fair attribute for Skeeter? Do you think the fact that he had his own vernacular did something to make him stand out from everybody else? Why is that? Explain.
Well, think about it. We always have come up with our own vernacular, the way we talk from. Because, for instance, the way you talk to this crowd would be completely different if we were all white.
Absolutely. No doubt. That's true. Yeah, I always thought there was, and even if you go back and you watch some of the episodes, the way Skeeter talked to Doug was very different than where Skeeter talked to Roger. Like it was very different. With Doug, he got his comfort, like his guard was down, he was vulnerable. Because it's like, I tell her sometimes, I tell some of my, especially my female friends, it's like, I didn't grow up thinking I could be emotional or I could be vulnerable. And then the older I got, and the more black friends I got, I'm like, bro, we having a shared experience right now. Like, we all just, as I heard, trying to be tough. Sometimes I just want to cry, bro. Like, and I always felt like Skeeter let his guard down, and that shit never bothered him. So I thought that was cool. So, how's the panel so far? Am I doing a good job? Is that solid? Okay, cool. Thank y'all. I appreciate that validation. All right, Piccolo. Why Piccolo is going on top? I knew this one would be the one. I knew. Now, do I have anybody at all that thinks Piccolo is not black? I don't want to hear that. I'm gonna let you come up here. It's the first time, Sam. You come up. Yeah. So everybody in this room thinks Piccolo is black. Yeah. I thought it was gonna be more difficult. Right? Yeah, I know. Nothing to think about. Nothing to think about. Hey, no, but let's just get into it. Again, my panel, I'm gonna hit you with some serious, I'm gonna hit you with some funny. This is gonna be one of them serious ones. I just don't want to be serious. One of the segments, like I have an 8-year-old, my 8-year-old has autism, and the one thing that I never ever liked was this ridiculous ass stigma that black men aren't there for their kids. When it comes to find out, black men are actually there for their kids more than any other racial demographic. Please ask me for the source if you want it. It's a CDC source, I'll give it to you. So the one thing is, and I like that the way that I ended it, so next time someone keeps calling Goku the hero, ask yourself, so who, Maury? Because it ain't Gohan. Gohan barely sees Goku. He sees his daddy though. So then, okay, so let's just move on here. So, for Piccolo, Fun fact, bonus points if somebody can tell me what that clip is from. Who was that? Nah, I ain't Juice. You know that ain't Juice. Yeah, wait, hold on. You said a different world. Yeah, exactly. So Tupac played a character named Piccolo in a different world. We're done. Next. So another thing too, and y'all kind of alluded to that when y'all were mentioning parents and this, that, and the other, role of a mentor and protector. I don't know many people can say what they want about black parents. Don't nobody hold their kids down, in my opinion, and the way that I grew up. Like my black mom and my black dad. Like I had my parents were like, I hate you, mom. Man, let me say some shit like that to my mom and dad, bro. It was not fun. And you know, and even to this day, you know, I can text my dad, you know, just be like, I love you. He'd be like, I love you too. You good? I'm good. Okay, you need me to call you? No, I'm good. All right, bye. I never had that relationship with my dad growing up. I got it now though, and it just makes me think of like that with Piccolo. Piccolo never had a great relationship with Gohan. He has an amazing one now. Like Gohan would invite Piccolo to the cookout before Goku, and that's all I needed to know. But one thing too, like that I thought was pretty interesting, was a sense of identity and self-discovery. Now, question and comment. We are all in this room because we all play video games, we're nerds, we watch anime. Does anybody think they know what I'm talking about when I say they struggle with their sense of identity liking that stuff where you grew up, being black? See, and that's exactly what I thought. I thought I went years never letting people know that I like Dragon Ball Z, that I liked my Super Nintendo, that I liked Yu-Gi-Oh cards and going to Books A Million and trading Pokemon. Like I went years and didn't tell anybody. Only to find out those same people bullying me for it had holographic Charizards and Dark Magicians. And I'm like, bro, we could have been cool, like, you know? So, can somebody, if somebody's comfortable enough, can somebody share an example of having to deal with your sense of identity and discovering yourself as you got older?
Okay, great. So I was in high school. I'm from Mississippi. I'm from Tupelo, Mississippi. Which literally
Shout out Mississippi.
Right. So you just drive through there. So I was in high school, like love anime. Like I would be the one to go to the library and be on the computer watching or reading manga. Like the early days where it took long as shit to watch every single page. Where you didn't scroll down, you had to click every single fucking page to the next step. But with that, I went to like a majority white high school. So just being a black girl in a majority white high school, not having my hair like this, like as soon as somebody would come into the fucking library, I would dip, like gone. But I went to Tuskegee University. I got my friend here from Tuskegee University. Like, hey, yo, we on watchcartoons.com. Like, check this anime out, check this out. We met online because, like, hey, don't spoil One Piece for me. Like, I'm on an anime. You reading the manga, you ahead of me. But definitely helping me come into my own and understand, like, hey, like, I'm this young black woman who really fucks with anime and manga, and just to see the support and just the population grow, the masses, like, hey, like we rock with each other, we all here. So that's just
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So I just thought that was pretty cool because I resonated with Piccolo growing up. I don't know what it was that made him seem black to me, probably because I always thought, here's this dude who he didn't take the special beam cannon, but he did the special beam cannon. But he was like a real, like he was a dude you called up, he was a hitter, like he was a shot up for Goku. Nobody else was doing that. Krillin? Psych. All right, so these are just some other quick ones. I'm gonna just blast through these because you kind of hit on that and we kind of touched on that, talking about dual identity. You know, like dual identity stereotypes of strength and resilience again, and just that quiet strength and stoicism. Sometimes people take, especially I'm just gonna call us out, especially black men, a lot of people take us wrong because, you know, we walk around our head down a little bit, we're a little quiet, we don't want to talk today, and on the inside, it's just non-stop, and it's like, I'm not trying to unleash that on you, and I wasn't raised on how to unleash that, so I just shut the hell up and keep it to myself, so I don't gotta give it to nobody else I don't need to give it to. And I always felt like that was kind of Piccolo. I never saw that with Goku. That motherfucker just smiling all the time. He's a beating ass. Yeah, like just smiling, bro. And that's not yeah, right, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I didn't resonate with that. That wasn't, to me, I guess you could say that wasn't cool. It wasn't cool to be Goku to me. That's why I think, polar hands, who likes Vegeta more than Goku? See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it was something about, okay, now that's actually a good question. Why do y'all think y'all resonate with Vegeta more than Goku? Or why do you think you like Vegeta more than Goku? I pointed at you, and they was like, hey, point. Wait, he's a what?
Because he's a person. Like in the whole show, they gave everybody the personality Goku should have had as a main character. Yeah. Like he's literally a skeleton that he just wants to fight. Nobody. Yeah. He doesn't have any character development. Everybody else in the show has character development. Like when Vegeta got with Bulma and saw Trunks, and when he saw Future Trunks for the first time, that shit blew my mind because like that's the first time we saw Vegeta actually show something like a song.
Give a shit.
It's like, bro, like, you've been calling this man trash all the time. I That's emotion, bro.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. I never, it's interesting having conversations like this with so many people, and this is kind of what I was talking about. We all went through, and I never knew, like, I remember I was like 6 or 7, I was like, I wonder if everybody else thinks Piccolo was black, or is it just me? And the older I got, I realized, shit, every black person thinks exactly, like, we're not a monolith, but we be monolithic about some shit. Alright, so now we're gonna talk about Panther. Oh, we got a debate! Okay, so who doesn't think Panther was black? Wait, I thought y'all was just saying you. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if this is in your slide.
Yeah.
I like pink as an animal, and literally the word panther means black. So like jaguar, a black jaguar is a panther, and also a black cougar is a panther.
Right.
So every big cat that is black is the panther version of that cat. So it literally means the niggas.
You said all of that philosophical shit to get on the niggas. Alright, so I think this one's gonna be pretty easy, I think. So I'm probably gonna skirt past this one because there's some other ones I think are gonna be more fun to do. But Panther I thought was interesting. You know, he reminded me, this is the one I said that reminded me of my uncle. Like he was just like this no nonsense dude, and Panther was a cat that if someone said I'm gonna go get the belt, you weren't thinking of anyone else but Panther. So something about him, his facial features, the way he talked, the way he acted, that deep voice, something about him just kind of made him seem black to me. This is Keenan from Saturday Night Live. Now, I don't know, y'all familiar with Thundercats, right? Like the theme song and all that? So, I wasn't that familiar with Thundercats. Like, I watched it growing up, but I didn't go back in the archives and remember the music and all that. But then I went back and I remembered Panthro's theme. Listen to this, bro. You can't, bro, come on, man. This music plays anytime Panthro show up to throw hands, bro. Like, that's all I needed to know. So this one's real quick. So we just gonna bypass this one. You know, his physical appearance, like we kind of already said, his voice and speech, his role as a mechanic and an engineer, you know, and something, that was a funny picture that I found. And something about him, and I guess this is a question, just a quick question I'll ask y'all. Why does a character like Panther come off as street smart, but no other cat did? What made Panther street smart?
He had common sense.
Common sense? Sometimes, do y'all find it sometimes, because a lot of these points that we bring up as to why someone is black, do y'all find sometimes that, or let me reword that question, how do y'all feel when people use, for instance, Panther is really laid back. He's the most laid back of all of them. He's no nonsense, but he's super laid back. How do y'all feel when people use that as a negative to talk about your character? That you're too laid back, you're too chill, even though that's just who you are. What do you say to someone who does that? Like, what's your reaction to that?
Continue to be chill.
So that was actually, so that was a trick question. I asked, maybe, because when I did this, when I was building this PowerPoint, I wanted to make sure I wasn't saying nothing out of pocket. I didn't want to say nothing that was going to offend anybody, even though this is just my truth. But I asked a group of Asian people that same question. I asked a group of white people that same question. I asked a group of Mexicans that same question. Y'all were the only people that said, keep it moving. Every other group said, well, why would they think that? Well, here was how I would change their mind. Well, here was why I think that's the wrong thing to think. Well, y'all are the only people that said, what the fuck you want me to do about it? It is what it is. So give yourself a round of applause, bro, for not giving it. Really, that was a trick question. I knew y'all was going to answer that. So that's good. Exactly. That ain't going to change nobody's mind. It's just going to change you. All right, so we're going to do a group of people now. Now, before I get started, y'all recognize this thumbnail, right? Where's it from? I ain't gonna never quiz y'all again, right? So when I saw this episode, I don't know if y'all thought the same thing. I thought when we saw this, man, I went down a Reddit rabbit hole with this. I was like, I need to know the theories. I need to know what he was talking about. This is the most fire. This is one of the most fire episodes of not just Atlanta, but TV in general. The fact that this whole thing was a fake mockumentary of a movie was so dope, man. Shout out to Donald with that one. Fun fact, by the way, if y'all want to know, y'all familiar with why it's called The Goof Who Sat by the Door? Yeah, there you go. It's a spoof. Yeah, it was about the first black CIA agent. It's actually a required reading of the FBI. And they copied that. It was in the 1960s, late 1960s, early 70s. This dude wrote a book about the first black CIA agent. And Donald Glover liked the book, titled this episode about it, since it was also about the first black CEO of Disney, which doesn't exist, of course, but I just thought that was a clever fun fact. Okay, so the first sentence, no need to even explain why. We're all in agreement that a Goofy movie is the blackest movie ever made. Music, yeah, vibe. I was actually power line yesterday. I don't know if some of y'all saw me. I was jigging out there yesterday, but so like, just kind of put this here. I thought it was a fun fact that Kevin Lima, who was actually the director of the movie, watched The Goof Who Sat by the Door and tweeted with Donald Glover and spent all day tweeting the fans going, I didn't even realize y'all mess with Goofy movie like that. I didn't know that. How did Disney even allow y'all to do this? Which they didn't. So Donald about to get that clean lawsuit. So I just thought that was pretty cool that he was able to get the director's attention. He's like, oh yeah, I subscribe to that. Like, that's cool. So I thought, so we got a whole tip power line right. And I really didn't know how to even break this one down. Weirdly, ironically, this was the hardest slide for me to do because I felt like this is the slide that would get the most scrutiny if I didn't do it right. So I didn't do it at all. I just wrote sentences and I was just gonna talk to y'all about this one. Can someone tell me who doesn't think a Goofy movie is a black movie? Y'all gotta get it. Stop.
Like, I don't see Goofy as being black.
Yeah.
I don't see.
Hey. You wanna go? I'm gonna get roasted if you go under it. Except for I. You was talking like with Pedro. But alright, so just before he gets started, what's your name? Like what a coincidence. So everyone, for anybody that doesn't know why he up here, doesn't think a Goofy movie is black, or you don't think Goofy is black.
I think the pop culture aspect of a Goofy movie is rooted in blackness. But if y'all watch anything outside of a Goofy movie, Goofy is not black. And if he is black, it is a poor representation of black people. Like Goofy is weirdly athletic, and everything always works out in favor of him. But Goofy is not smart. Goofy is goofy. He's slew-footed and big ass feet. And a lot of people think he's a cow when he's a dog. Like, I mean, I would say he's a caricature. If he is supposed to be black, he's a caricature of black people. And I don't really subscribe to that.
Y'all agree with that point?
Tell me something that is positive about Goofy that y'all see.
Wait. Before y'all answer that. You said something. Say that. I want to hear that again.
I feel like the Goofy movie, they black, but I feel like because he's originally with like Donald and Mickey is why you don't see him as black. Because I mean, he would. So like he's a really black. But the Goofy movie, that nigga's black.
What about an extremely Goofy movie? What about an extremely Goofy movie?
I feel like
he's blacker now that he's skating and hanging with the huh?
Wait, whoever's yelling, can you stand up? Can you just stand up? He can't hear you. Can you stand up?
I said an extremely Goofy movie who's actually seeking higher education. Why are we not focusing on that aspect though?
My brother.
Because that's not blackness. We're not. Listen. I'm a 2-time graduate of the HBCU FAMU. So it's like, but going to college is not exclusively black. Like,
I think what I'm hearing is because there are no graduates. There are no graduates in my family except my brother. My younger brother was the first person in my family to graduate college, and I was supposed to be, but I'm an idiot, so I dropped out. But I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. But one thing that I noticed was my dad was silly. My mom always made me laugh. We did whatever we had to do, but that was kind of their goofiness was a point of not letting me know my surroundings. So for example, I heard a Lupe Fiasco lyric where he said that his mom bought a video game so that he would never know he was poor. And that line resonates with me because we didn't have shit, but I never knew it. I never knew we were broke. If you ask me, I thought we were rich. Only until I got older, I realized how poor we were and how much he struggled. And then I think of a Goofy movie, and I think of someone like Goofy who's so aloof, who's so goofy, who's so silly. My thought is, well, he's doing that so Max may not know where he comes, like his surroundings. Like, it's a distraction. He doesn't want his son to see the hardships Goofy has gone through. Because all you're able to see is Mickey. It's Mickey this, it's Minnie that, it's Pluto this, and Goofy's kind of this outcast who kind of has to work his way up. Goofy's the only working person in Mickey Mouse. He's the only person who has a son that he cares for. He's the only one. You know what I'm saying? So I just think
he's the only one with character development again.
Yeah.
As a character, like when it comes to writing, they always stay strong to the comedic aspect of it, and that's usually what people cling to. So of course he became the most popular outside of Mickey because people will y'all watch a Donald Duck movie with just Donald Duck? But is it a cult classic? Is it a cult classic? Does he have 2 movies? No, because I don't want to take away from people who do believe that he's black. Like, nah, if we can take this and we can use this and we can identify with his experience, like, yeah, I'm not trying to take that. I'm gonna stand 10 toes. I don't think he's black. But if you think he's black and you identify with that, I will never try to take that away from you. I am up here saying why I don't think he's black, and all of y'all can.
I feel like once he had Max and he had the son, he seen his life separately, is when it kind of came like, all right, he's black, and look at the way his son lived, and he going through all that shit, like, you can tell he's kind of black after that.
Max.
You don't think Goofy's black, and you think he's a caricature. You don't think the Mickey Mouse cartoons, the Donald Duck cartoons of the 20s, all black people characters.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't. And that's what I said at the very beginning. At the beginning, I said if he is black, then I don't like it because it's a caricature. That's what I said at the beginning.
You may not like it.
Well, all right, thank you, thank you, Irvin. Say your last point. Say your last point. No. Say your last point.
No.
It's from Disney from way back in the day. From the movie to the Extreme movie, all he was focused on was Max, and he made it better compared to Pete.
Oh, so it was a ploy to get black people back on Disney's side. Y'all leave her alone, man. Thank you guys for being brave enough to come up here. Hey, y'all, wait 1 second. Y'all wait 1 second. My man just want to say his point real quick. Go ahead, bro.
I think one character we can all agree from the group who is not black is the dude who was just straight up eating cheese.
With the
out
cheese,
there.
yeah.
Wait, you don't think he? Wait, what was he? Not that I'm saying he's black, but what was he?
He was.
That's a white boy. That's a white boy.
Oh, 'cause he's a pothead. Hey, Irv, look at my PowerPoint presentation. Read that first, Irv. Not just playing, Irv. I know you do. I don't even know where to go with this one. I know that bag of wood took the air and I don't even know how to get it back. I'm gonna just end with actually, I understand, even though I disagree, just because of what it means to me to watch a Goofy movie, because Irv was taking it from the standpoint, I don't want to speak for you, Irv, but Irv was taking it from the standpoint of kind of like the foundations of Goofy and maybe a little bit of pandering to Goofy. I'm taking it from the approach of, I watched Disney movies all the time growing up. There's no relation to Little Mermaid. There's no relation to Aladdin. There's no relation to Toy Story. This is a nice rich white kid that got toys that are magic, bro. Like, I can't relate to that. But something about this Disney movie, about a dad just trying to do right by his son, I can relate to that no matter how aloof he was. Like, something about that was just relatable to me. It was the first time I saw these humanistic elements of my real life in it. So that was for me. So I'll just end with that one. I was talking about that. Now this one I honestly almost didn't do because I honestly thought, just being real with y'all, I thought I was gonna offend y'all by picking Frylock. Now I thought y'all would be like, bro, you just picking stereotypes now. But is this one fair that I picked Frylock? Is that a fair one? Okay. And y'all see that his spies were driven? Alright, so y'all can just read that. I was somebody who was introduced to Aqua Teen Hunger Force super late because I wasn't introduced to Adult Swim late. I was watching Space Ghost and all that kind of stuff late at night. But for some reason I skipped Aqua Teen. I thought it was stupid. I was like, I'm not watching a show about talking McDonald's, bro. Like, that sounds dumb. And then I finally sat and watched it. I was like, bro, this is one of the best shows on Adult Swim, man. And what was cool is that they got T-Pain to play Frylock in the live. And that was kind of right. I thought that was pretty cool. Something about Frylock, and I almost thought that, again, this was one that I thought was iffy to say because he had an assertive personality that made him black. Does somebody care to voice why I was right or wrong in saying that his assertive personality is why I related to his blackness? Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you think about like a lot of the black figures of the time, even in just some of the sitcoms that we saw, they were the assertive dads. So it's like when you think of and then even just Panther, he was the assertiveness character because, I mean, even in the negative sense of what we are ideally seen as black people, we're seen as aggressive and scary and big and mean on the negative side. And then when we can look at us, contextually and look at us as a people, and you can see like, oh, these communities are actually developed with strong, powerful male leads, especially if you're looking at like the 60s. And again, not discounting the females that were very leading forward, but in this kind of representation, that assertive personality is something that we as a culture needed in our households.
Yep. Love that. And let me just be clear when I say this. I don't think there's any human being on this planet stronger than a black woman. So if there's black women, so whenever I think of assertiveness, I think of we wouldn't be in this room right now with the people who raised us wasn't assertive. Right. Something about assertiveness makes me think of parenthood.
He's like a parent of them, and he's got to be like responsible because like they be fucking shit up.
Yeah, I always equated assertiveness with strength, and I always equated assertiveness with getting the job done, with overcoming adversity, with overcoming any obstacle, and that's what right or wrong, that was always just my way of saying, are you just being assertive? People think of, especially, and I know y'all ladies going through it right now, whenever you get loud, whenever you try to say your piece, whenever you try to speak your mind, you look at this angry and aggressive and that, and you got a fucking right to be. So I will never call you angry, I will never say that you're being a bitch, I will never say anything like that. Your assertiveness makes you strong to me, and that's something I want to make sure that I put that down here, so let me just make sure I say that. Go ahead. Oh, y'all, which one?
She about to told me.
Okay, that's okay, go ahead. Speak your mind.
I just wanted to say, like, there's a difference between assertive and aggressive. Like, we get the be aggressive, but we've always been assertive. Assertive is the healthiness of being able to balance the anger and use it forward instead of using it to stunt you. And so for you to use assertive is the proper way to use that communication personality type. And so Black people, we assertive, we out here, we loud, we get shit done. We're not aggressive. Like, can people be aggressive? Of course, of course. Again, that's the unhealthy balance.
Yeah.
But when you are balancing yourself, assertiveness is what comes with that. And we just know our shit, we are about our shit. And that's it.
That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate it. You had a question, you had your hand up way in the back. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying, like, we all came from different backgrounds, whether we had like both parents in our lives, or we just had one, or we just had another guardian. But if you're Black, like, most of them were the type to be stern to a certain extent. So I don't know if y'all ever like room with other people of other ethnicities, whether you were like roommates or you had dorm mates that were like, you're like, yo, like, what the fuck? You see like the house, you get like friends, or you go to like a friend's house growing up, you just see like how lenient your parents are, so then you live with those people, like you see people like fly, like you're like, yo, these people are tripping, like they're gonna be acting up like this. So you always end up being that
You just brought up a good point. Do y'all find yourselves in that situation where you are the parent sometimes of your non-Black friend? See this panel, man. Like I really wish, like, I know this convention is like, you know, is for us, by us, but like I feel like y'all would be shocked, or maybe you wouldn't be, the amount of non-Black people who don't understand that y'all feel that way. Because I did a stupid, unnecessary amount of research on this PowerPoint presentation for y'all. I wanted to give y'all some good shit. And the amount of non-Black people I asked, I was like, do you ever feel like the parent when you room with your Black friends? No, it was a great time. I had a lot of fun. And it's like, did you ever ask your Black roommate if they had that much fun as you had, and they never knew the answer? They never knew. They never asked. They never cared to ask how y'all's well-being was in that situation. So I just think that was something that was really interesting to me, that parental instinct is almost natural, and it's just unfortunately something we carry with us, just being who we are. And then of course this is simple, just to keep it simple. Like y'all mess with MF Doom, so I'm RP MF Doom, so I had to, Frylock Sense of Style, and then just the musical influence of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, even like down to the theme song to where they live. And it kind of, and it sucks to always state that. That's funny. And then it sucks. Like it sucks, and I think that we were kind of talking about that earlier. It really sucks to always think that because you live in an urban neighborhood, oh yeah, that's Black, because it's like I'm trying to be sensitive when I say this, but it's like we see something like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and we see the graffiti, and we see how cool it is and fun it is, and it's like it's real fire and it's dope, but it's like they were all poor, and they were all in a shitty house, in a shitty neighborhood, and there was shootings every day. And then on one hand, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to be associated with that. Like, that's really bad. Like, I don't want people to think that that's all I am. But then on the other hand, it's like, I've learned to just not be embarrassed where I came from. That's where I came from. That's who I am. And where we came from, and I used to have to tell my friends this, it's like, does it ever bother you? Was that ever scary? Was that ever a thing? And it's like, well, it got me to where I am today. It got me to sit here in front of y'all. It got y'all to sit here in front of me, so we must have done all right. So, I always think that it ain't where you come from. It's what you do with it when you leave. So, appreciate that. And then we got So, do I have any disagreements about Knuckles? Okay, so I did my homework, right? Okay, good. I did my homework. Okay. Did anybody play Sonic Adventure 2? Yeah. Okay, y'all settle the debate for me. I ain't gonna say her name in this room right now, but can y'all settle the debate that Sonic Adventure 2 was the best Sonic game ever made? Wait, who? Why not? You said no?
I said well, because I didn't play Sonic Frontiers, but I heard that was real good.
Why are you talking about? That was one on Dreamcast. Yeah, the one where you have the memory card and you can do the child card. My child was always quick. So there was a fun fact I actually didn't know, and this is me revoking my gamer card, but I didn't realize that Knuckles' shoes were based on the fact that he was going to be a Rastafarian. animal, he was gonna have a Jamaican accent, and I actually didn't know that, because that's why his shoes are red, yellow, and green, is because he's gonna be Rastafarian. So I thought that was pretty cool. Also, fun fact I found out, that little thing that he got that looked like a boomerang on his chest was originally supposed to be a Nike symbol, because Sega and Nike entered into a partnership, and Sega wanted a way, or Nike wanted a way for Sega to incorporate their Nike logo in a video game. And they were like, why don't we just slap it on Knuckles, because he's fast and he seems cool. And so they were gonna do that. Now that deal fell through, so they moved the switch to look normal. But I thought that was kind of interesting that Knuckles was gonna have a Nike logo on his chest. I thought that was kind of fire. All right, so one thing that was interesting to me about Knuckles, especially before I played Sonic Adventure 2, I had always seen Knuckles, and something about his attitude and the way he acted just resonated with me. But then I played Sonic Adventure 2, and then I started hearing all the different rap music that would come on every time he played his level. Quick questions. Is it stereotypical, or is it an accurate portrayal to resonate hip-hop music with black and being cool? Does that do more damage, or does that do more good, or is it neutral? It does nothing. It doesn't make you cool. Okay. I was on Reddit wondering if other people who thought Knuckles was black, and no one could understand why just because Knuckles had hip hop music, that would make black people resonate with him. And it was confusing to me, because I would think that it's pretty obvious that if every time this person showed up on the screen, B.I.G. started playing, like I'd be like, okay, well then yeah, that's a brother, like that's easy. But they were saying some pretty negative things about it, so I wanted to ask y'all, is that a negative to say, well, we want this person to be black, so we're gonna put a hip hop soundtrack behind it? Go ahead.
Well, I mean, think about how much of a
No,
think about it, about the role in literal history that hip hop has played when it comes to the black experience. How it's gotten, or how it's been almost enmeshed with the way we're portrayed, with how do you put this, with some protests and stuff that have helped us build to where we are today. There is definitely some overlap with the existence of hip hop, rap, and the black experience.
It's definitely draws to that character if you want to hear something that we resonate with.
Yeah, like anytime Sonic played, it was NSYNC playing, and it's like, I'm not gonna resonate to that, even if NSYNC is kind of fire. Like, I'm not gonna resonate with that like I would, you know, some other character. Did you want to say something?
She pretty much hit the nail on the head. I was gonna add an extra to Knuckles, is that he is very in touch with his ancestors.
Yeah.
Like,
he don't.
Look, he don't play when it comes to that master era. If one piece is missing, he traveling the world to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. Yeah.
What I said about Knuckles too, you know, I don't know if I realized as a child, but like playing Sonic once I got older, two threads in Knuckles' story is always trying to get back what's stolen from him, and then also his individualism is a result of people taking advantage of him and being naive. And so I think that's something that most black people can identify with as well, because Knuckles is also very trusting, naturally I would say, but then people use it kind of naivety to get over him, and I think that happens with black people all the time, right? And so I think there's some level of connection with Knuckles.
That's solid, bro. That's a solid announcement. Somebody else had their hand up, I thought. Oh, no? Okay. All right, so my panel is wrapping up. This has been the most fun I've had in all of years. I gotta be honest. It was cool watching the crew battle and all that from 30 miles away. This is way more fun. This is way more fun for me, man. So I just want to appreciate y'all being here. These are honorable mentions. This is gonna be where I just rapid fire everyone that I think is black, and I have about 10 names. So we're not debating, because I'm not gonna debate with you. It's what it is. So let's just go ahead and knock these out real quick. So Arthur, black. Darwin, black. Franklin, black. Yeah, okay. Franklin, black. Mr. Kraft? We a little shaky? I think I was gonna do all that, bro. Listen, he's a poem. He's about to die. Nah, they ain't know what it's like. They ain't know what it's like. I ain't gonna lie to you. I Googled cartoons that are secretly black and just grabbed the first because I wanted to see y'all's reactions to all of them. Okay, so far, we were cool with the first, with Arthur, Darwin, and Franklin, but we're not cool with Mr. Krabs. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We gotta know like Mr. Krabs, he's a big Mitchell. I'm 4 for 1. Will? Okay, I'm 5 for 1. Gloria? Okay, I thought y'all was gonna beat my ass. But Gloria over around me like, come on, bro, it is what it is. Tyrone? From the backyard? Look at him, look at him! Look at him, look at people over the fellow. Now the one thing that I'm expecting is some Tyrone cosplays next DreamCon. I want to see it. Martian Manhunter? Yeah. All right, y'all. That's it. Appreciate y'all. Hey, look, y'all do me a favor. Y'all do me a quick favor. When y'all bored, if y'all can go on the DreamCon app and click my panel on the rating, oh, your boy 5 stars. Make it on my back. We can do this again. Appreciate y'all.